Right, this upload's about a Triumph Tiger 1050, 2007 in the year. It's one I've just recently purchased, and yes, it's got the dreaded charging system failure. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Right, got an interesting project now. I've just went and got a Triumph 1050 Tiger, 2007 plate, and got the usual problems which I found out in the forums of the charging systems. Right, what I've bought a wiring like heavy duty upgrade for the starter wire. So we've got the wire for the positive to the from the battery to the solenoid, start solenoid. Then we've got a long wire from the solenoid to the starter motor, and also we've got a new earth cable from the battery to the chassis. And let's say common fault on Triumphs by all accounts, and these I believe are nearly double the thickness of the original cables that come with the Triumph. And I did smell a burning smell. As I say, that's the original earth cable there, and I don't know if you can see very clearly. Don't open the bag just yet, but as I say, that is quite a lot bigger. If that's probably 6mm, that must be 10mm. So I've got that to do, which I'll be doing a little video of that, and the infamous regulator rectifier. This is a Mosfet one, and apparently the Triumph's rectifier regulator, RR if you want to call it that, they do run rather hot, and over a period of time they break down, which can give you all sorts of symptoms. Battery can be swollen, or just go through a lot of batteries for overcharging, because they're probably putting too much voltage back in the battery, if they're putting any in there. But that should resolve the problem, and it's a 3-phase rectifier regulator. And as I say, I'll be installing that one, a video on that as well at the same time. And I've bought myself a new battery as well. So it's all off eBay. It's about £19 for the upgrade starter wire kit. The Mosfet regulator rectifier was about £70, and I can add links in there when I do the videos. And the battery, I think, was £51. So I'm going to change the battery over first, because what it's doing, the starter motor, when I press the button to start it, when it was only doing when it was hot, and what it would do, you'd press the starter button and it would like fire over probably for about a second, hit a compression stroke, then it would just wipe out the starter motor. It would just cut it out and just like wind over. And again, you have to prime it again. Obviously the rev counter whizzes over and primes the fuel pump, and then you touch it, it would like kick over for about a second, and then it would stop, and there was probably insufficient power on there anyway to do it. So I'm going to change the battery over quickly, and I'm just going to see, and then I'll bring you back. If it starts up fine, I'll bring you back and I'll show you. As I say, if you do keep cranking it over, apparently it damages the clutch sprag. So that's one reason why I don't want to show you what it's doing. I don't want to push me luck if it hasn't gone already. So I'm going to change it over, and then I'll come back to you if I get it started. Right, new battery's installed, connections are tight. I left off it has got heated grips on this model actually, and probably great for riding in the winter, but I don't really intend to ride in the winter, so I've disconnected it for now, just in case there's some parasitical drain on there. So I just cable tie the connectors back there, and it's primed. So I'm going to try and start it. Sit there a minute. We'll have to pull the clutch in to do it. We can pop you up there a minute. Easier said than done. battery test area. If you hear the noise. It was at this point I realised I'd fucked up. And all those that noticed as well, them two wires wasn't for the heated grips at all. They were in fact from the regulator rectifier to charge the battery. I'm going to take the tank off now, and to do that you have to undo these Allen keys, screws, bolts, one of them, and then take them off and pull this side covering off, and then should be able to get to the tank. And there's two, I think they're 8mm bolts either side, and I think we've got another, where are we, 8mm down there. So I'm just going to take you off a minute and I'll come back to you in a second. As you can see, I've taken the petrol tank off. Now we can see the exact wiring layout. Right, this is the regulator rectifier. You can see the three wires there, three yellows, which is the three-phase rectifier regulator, or stator, sorry. And you've got three wires there that comes from the stator from the engine. Now we'll test them out later, but that's what we need to change, this here. And also we'll be testing this as well. These wires, I'm an idiot, they weren't for the heated grips. They're actually from the regulator rectifier. So what that does, the engine produces AC current and it changes it to DC current, and also it regulates it as well so it doesn't overcharge. So it should be putting out somewhere between, I think it's about 13.4 volts to no more than about 14.8, something like that. Any more than that, the battery's going to have a reduced wear life or been connected to the battery, and that's why we wasn't getting no voltage from the battery at all. So they've got to be connected back up. But it's weird, as I say, you've got two wires, two reds there, and you've got two blacks coming out. Then in this loom, it connects to one real skinny wire, which doesn't sit right with me really. So yeah, I've got two on that one, reds and two blacks. So what I'll probably do is snip these off, get a heavy duty red cable, and then crimp a eyelet on there and have a thicker cable, as I say, because that's quite skinny there. And you've got two quite big cables. It's probably going to carry quite a bit of amperage coming out of the alternator or regulator. So I'm going to upgrade that cable going to the battery to a fatter cable. So yeah, there's a starter motor cable which is just under there. That comes from the solenoid, and that's the live cable, positive cable comes from the start solenoid. And also under there, which is behind this breather hose, we've got a earth coming from the battery. So that's in the upgraded battery cable kit, which is there. So that's where I'll be connecting them to and running down there. So I need the tank off anyway. And as I say, my multimeter should come in the post next couple of days. So I'll be doing a video on testing the rectifier regulator and also testing the stator on the engine, and then I can see when this is on, we'll do a dynamic test with that with the engine running, so we can make sure we're not getting too much voltage through. So that's it for now, and I'll come back to you when the multimeter arrives. Right, I've now taken off the earth clamp, one here to the main wiring loom, and the other one, which is, where did I put it? Here. Getting focused there. Right, that's the old negative that goes from the battery, which was just taken out. It runs down through there. Actually, no, it doesn't, tell a lie. It runs through there, down around there, and then back on to that connection there, which I'll just clean up with a little bit of sandpaper and same that terminal there and put a bit of grease on there. Took off the wire from the starter as well, from the solenoid, and when you take the battery out, you just slide this rubber solenoid up. It's like on a little post there, and so you can get access then to all the connections. As I say, I've got a new connection there from the battery to the solenoid, which is under this cover. Can we take this off? Yeah, I probably need 2 hands to take that off, but that cover should just slide off there and expose the nuts. And then this other cable here is the, as I say, the live feed to the starter motor. So I'll pull this cover off and I'll get the new cables out and I'll put them side by side so you can see.